Steven.
Kevin.
David.
With our powers combined, we are the
Brothers
Board.
By the power of podcasting,
We have the power.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Brothers Born podcast. We had a temporary hiatus there just due to, adult complications, but we're back on board, and today we have a special guest. Let's introduce yourself, my friend.
Howdy. My name is Jaron.
Yep, that's Jaron.
That's about right.
Jaron is a master speedrunner. He's a master speedrunner of Link to the Past. If any of you are curious, he's beaten Link to the Past in how short of a time?
Oh, probably, an hour, 45 minutes is the fastest, which really isn't that fast when you're talking to people who are really good at it, but it's pretty fast, I think.
I think that's pretty fast. I've never even beaten that game, and it's taken me months.
I don't think I've ever played it, to be honest.
I don't know if I've even heard of it before.
It's the Zelda game on Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Classic.
So, and it's got like quite a community of speedrunners online, apparently. So,
Nice.
Jaron is one of them.
It's quite the talent, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I know it's a talent that may save the world someday.
You never know.
Speaking of saving the world,
Yes.
So we have had a few episodes about various apocalypses, and we're going to kind of continue with that theme today. And this is actually an idea that Jaron came up with, as far as I know. Is that correct?
I did suggest it to Steven.
There you go. So, what is the current apocalypse that we're going to discuss today?
Well, the idea I had suggested to Steven was a apocalypse where everyone in the world gained some kind of superpowers all at once, essentially overnight. And what would happen in the world? And I'm pretty sure, anyway, that this would be an apocalyptic event if everyone overnight gained superpowers. Perhaps it's a discourse on, human philosophy if that would happen, but I think it would cause quite the apocalypse if that did happen.
I'm not sure how well we do at discourses on philosophy in this group, but we'll do our best. Sounds pretty good.
Well, I think what you're saying is, with the whole adage of Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. But a lot of folks might have that great power, but they are definitely not responsible. So it could lead to some cataclysmic events. It's kind of, I think you're going with there.
Pretty much, right? Like human nature, right? There's going to be a lot of people who use their powers for good, right? But perhaps there'll be too many who maybe don't. And
I'm not going to lie. I think I'm a pretty good law-abiding person. But if I had some sort of superpower, I don't know if I'd necessarily do anything evil with it, but I'd definitely do it to mess with people and be really immature about it, I think. So, I can see where you're coming from with that.
And I think a lot of it depends on what the powers are. If everyone, I'm thinking like, for example, Jubilee from X-Men, she makes like fireworks with her fingers. Not that impressive. So if everyone got a power like that, maybe we'd be okay. But then you got someone like Dark Phoenix or like Superman or Wolverine. People who are like, if those things were real and if multiple people had those powers, it could be some serious stuff going on there for sure. So what do you think would happen? Like, who do you think, like, what kinds of people would this world see in that situation?
So are we talking here just standard superpowers that everyone hears about from the movies, cartoons, comics, stuff like that?
Well,
sure. Or various things. There's lots of people in the world, so there could be a lot of different powers.
Yeah,
that's true.
Now, my question is, does everybody get just one power?
That's a good question. Like, I figure that if everyone has superpowers, probably everyone would get like, one power, different various power levels, right? Some people might have a really powerful ability. Some people, like Stephen was talking about, right? Some people might just shoot fireworks out of their fingers, but some people might shoot lasers out of their eyes, right? Or
That's true.
Super strength and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it'd be more interesting if everyone just gets one power.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then everyone would be different instead of everyone having all the same powers.
I feel like that add an interesting dynamic to it too, because it's like you're like, oh, I suddenly have the superpower where I can, I don't know, make things shiny, something random like that. And you start using that for like good, but then like your nemesis or the person that your girlfriend's been cheating on you with or something crazy like that ends up having a power where he can, I don't know, fry somebody's brain with his mind or something like that. Yeah. It's going to be kind of a problem because if you're like trying to settle your beef with somebody, but you ended up with like a dumb power and the person you're settling beef with ended up with like a really strong power, that'd be kind of interesting. Yeah. It would definitely
kind of stink for you.
Or like, I'm curious to see on the global stage, obviously, if a dictator got a superpower, but what if the evil dictator got one of the lame powers, but some Joe Schmo who works at, a tool factory got like some wicked crazy power, and then he rose and like used his power for bad. Like it would really change the like social dynamic of the world too. Like,
right. I think that's one of the main reasons why it'd be so apocalyptic, right? Because the current existing structure of the world, right, like governments and the policing of the world and all that kind of stuff, in a lot of ways, I think it would break down, right? Because then all of a sudden there's chaos, right? Even if people, weren't trying to do so, right? It's like giving everybody a weapon, right? And if someone starts using it, then maybe people will start using it to defend themselves, and then chaos will just break.
Plus, if it happens overnight, some of these powers, if people haven't been trained how to use them properly, like they probably couldn't control them, or maybe they don't want to control them. They just want to do whatever they feel like. But maybe some people just have no idea. Like some superheroes, when they get these powers, they don't quite understand them yet, and they kind of use them by accident sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Someone could shoot lasers out of their eyes, for example. They wake up in the morning, accidentally start shooting lasers out of their eyes. That could cause some problems.
I mean, if you're like Cyclops and you're wearing your little goggle thingies, then yeah, you'd just be shooting everything, looking around. What's going on? You'd destroy your whole house.
Maybe your family
dog would slice your dog in half. With
you wake up, your dog comes and licks your face. Once and walks outside, you're like, oh, okay, okay, spot, and exploded dog everywhere. Yeah, for sure, that would.
And if you did that, then you'd probably turn to a villain because you'd feel like you're a terrible person, and like you just become bad all of a sudden because you didn't think you could be good again. I don't know.
And you think about like babies or old people with dementia, if they suddenly got powers, imagine the craziness that would ensue from that. Like, let's say a power to heat metal. That's kind of a cool one. Someone, some old person with dementia has that, and then they give them, oh, here's your dinner, Mr. Smith. They start melting the plate in front of them, or like melting the like medical equipment and stuff. That'd be pretty bad. Like, then those people would, of course, maybe the power could be, there's like irony right there. A person with dementia gets like the power to be able to memorize everything. That would be pretty wild.
That's a power I can get behind, honestly. I wish I had a power like that.
But if you could have any power, would you be disappointed if that was yours in this event?
For that one, no, because I actually want that power to be able to remember everything. Although that could be kind of terrible at times too, because I guess there's some things you wouldn't want to remember. My look at it was something dumb. I'd probably be like, I don't know, I could fall from any height without dying, and that'd be it. That'd be like my only power.
Good.
We talked about that one before, I think, in this podcast, like a season ago or something. We talked about that and the double jump, where like if you could just double jump.
Or if everybody woke up and he could double jump. I forgot about that one.
But they would have to make that noise that Mario makes when he jumps. Yeah.
That's exactly accurate. That's what it sounds like.
But yeah, it'd be I think if you had the power to memorize everything, like you'd be really valuable to like other people. They wouldn't want to. They'd want you because you can. I don't know.
Yeah, but they also might
like,
not want you because like you wouldn't be able to forget anything. So if you saw somebody doing up to some shenanigans that they shouldn't be up to, you'd probably be a target, honestly, because if like if people, I guess it would depend if people knew or not, but if like people around you knew you could memorize everything, then anytime you're around, they'd have to be like, they'd always be suspicious and watch careful what they say. Yeah. And if they're not, then, and they have a superpower too, then like, oh man, that guy shouldn't have heard that. Well, I got laser eyes. So,
what if you got the power?
The government would do, right? Like, how would they try to regain control if everyone suddenly had superpowers?
I mean, I don't think they could regain control unless they themselves had powers that could submit everyone under their control. I don't know. Like, would they be able to?
I don't think they could. I think it would just break down.
Can you imagine somebody like Kim Kardashian like suddenly had like the ability to like
Professor Xavier
like suddenly had like the ability to like use like some psychic ability to make people do whatever she wants?
Oh man.
What if like you're scared of heights and your power is the power of flight? Like, it'd be pretty pointless, wouldn't it?
It's like the dementia person with the memory power. But I to your question though, I don't think it would take very long for things to get bad. I think
give it about an hour.
Like
as quick as you can beat that Zelda game, whatever it's called. I don't remember.
That's Jaron's power, actually. You can
oh no. I can just beat it a minute faster. Oh.
And like that's what happens. You're like, before the world ends, I'm gonna break the record.
So how would all this go about starting? Like, are we trying to create a narrative here, or just like what are we doing?
So I think it'd be fun to entertain a few ways. I don't know. Looks like Kevin, you had a thought. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking. I was going to basically say a thing. I think we'd have to kind of think. There could be a couple of different ways to do it. It could be like, I like to think about like how a lot of superheroes end up with their powers. Of course, you have superheroes like Iron Man who like build like a suit. That doesn't really count. But
he's
like,
not really a superhero, dude.
Yeah,
he's just rich and smart.
But you have like Spider-Man gets bit by a radioactive spider, for example. Obviously, not every person in the world can get bit by a radioactive spider at one time. So I'm thinking it'd be like, okay, so the Fantastic Four, they get their powers from cosmic rays, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking like, if like the sun had like a massive solar flare that created cosmic waves that went through the entire Earth, and then it affected everybody, and then ended up everybody has superpower that way.
And then one of the powers is someone who can create cosmic waves, and that'd be the person to save us, actually, because they could take the powers away, perhaps.
Got the solar flare, yeah, it was pretty good, I think.
There could be like some sort of one government does some sort of like nuclear testing or like biochemical warfare experiment that goes south. Then suddenly everyone, I guess that'd only be one nation that gets the powers, whatever nation they've attacked. But I think that could then radiate into other parts of the world too. Here's a question. People like, like how like the Sentinel Islands is like a group of people that have never interacted with any other group of people in the world. And like right now, if we ever actually did interact with them, it'd be dangerous for them because they're not immune to the diseases that we are. Like what those people are going to get powers too. I'm going to say they're human beings. So, those like tribes that aren't really up with modern times per se, that'd be kind of crazy. Or do you think they'd stay on their island and just keep to themselves? Or do you think they'd go explore?
They'd probably stay on their island and just create their own.
They'd have their own chaos on their island.
Their own chaos.
Until someone, I was going to say, one of the other people would use their powers to find them eventually, I guess. I don't know how safe they'd be or how long they could stay hidden if everyone has superpowers.
That might be the way to go, though. Like you might be in the best situation if you're one of those people in this world, or if you're probably like a scientist chilling in Antarctica. Yeah, dude. If you're just away from everybody, you're just like there for like your science team. You'll have suddenly a superpower. It's like, oh, cool.
Oh, your power could be controlling.
Unfortunately, one of your powers is the ability to freeze things, and you're already in Antarctica. So,
I think you could have someone down there could be like able to make a penguin army,
That'd be
control them
sweet.
with their mind.
Animal mind control. Yeah.
Animal mind
Or
control.
just only penguins.
just penguins. Yeah, I don't know if you had enough penguins. It wasn't Batman Returns where the penguin had all those penguins with missiles on their back. Yeah,
I forgot about that. That's funny.
There could also be things like, what if someone scientists in Antarctica got the power to like superheat his environment?
Oh,
it's true.
He just melts Antarctica.
Oh, we have a serious problem. Then.
One can superheat, the other one can super freeze, and they have like a never-ending battle.
But if he did super,
like an Elsa moment in like the deserts of Africa, and someone calls down winter,
that would totally change the Earth. Like, yeah, you got some dude melting the whole South Pole, and some other chick just freezing up Africa all around the equator.
The ecology of our planet would just. There's another reason for it to be chaotic. Because not only is it a superhero apocalypse at this point, now it's a weather apocalypse or
Seriously,
a massive
our
flood.
ecosystems wouldn't be able to handle that.
But then you got the animal control people, not people who, like, that sounded like I think there actually is something animal control where they control, but no, I mean, like people who can control animals with their mind, like that would change everything too. Like they have all this mass of predators at their fingertips to use to do things, unless you're just the penguin guy, or I can control rabbits or something like that. And it's not so great. But if you're the guy who controls the lions or the alligators or something,
or like Rat King from Ninja Turtles, where you can like communicate with rats.
Actually, there's a lot of rats.
A lot of people got superpowers, and like the world became chaos. And the main character could control insects.
Oh.
That would be kind of a crazy power. Dude, I can get down with that. Dude, I would love to have that power. Insect.
She did some pretty crazy things with her insects.
What is this book? I might read this.
I think I told you about it before. It's called Worm.
Worm. Okay, yeah.
It's like a web serial that's like as long as the entire Wheel of Time. Actually, longer than the entire Wheel of Time, but like 5 times, and it's one book.
Jeez, that's a pretty cool story though. But that's one of the apocalypses we were going to discuss. Actually, is if arthropods,
the arthropod apocalypse,
all gained human intelligence, that would be a very serious problem as well. But
okay, like this thing, do the animals gain superpowers as well?
In this apocalypse, it's just humans.
Okay,
just people,
because that could be a problem if the animals did as well.
You know, I know who I feel bad for in this situation are the superheroes who don't have powers, like you mentioned, Iron Man or like Batman.
Well, yeah, but now
Daredevil.
They do have powers.
I know, but like. That's true.
Yeah,
true. They spent their entire life building this like archetype and like this thing that makes them special. And now it's like now everyone's just like me, but better.
Yeah, this
sure. Can you imagine?
This is a global reset of your standing in the world and your.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine being like Iron Man and you've been working so hard to have like a super suit, and then suddenly you have a superpower, but it's like a completely different power. Like has nothing to do with the super suit. Like
power to make plants grow.
Yeah, like Iron Man can suddenly like has a power poison ivy where she can make like plants grow and stuff like that. Like that'd be kind of junky for Iron Man.
Iron Man essentially already had a superpower. He was just super intelligent.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
And
that's true.
Rich. Well, he was super rich because he was super intelligent. Right?
That's true. So yeah, I guess you can make the same argument for Batman too.
Well, yeah, Batman, he inherited all his riches, so was he really that intelligent?
No, Batman's like he's like super smart and stuff.
But well, this is very interesting. How would the world bounce back? Like if it's an apocalypse, the world's going to end. But what are ways? Like how could we overcome this? Like.
It just depends how quickly it takes people to be able to work together, I guess, for good or bad. Like, if everyone's all one man on their own, like at first, I think everyone would be so excited about their powers that they would just be doing whatever they wanted with them. And I don't know, the world wouldn't.
I feel like
everything would be chaos then.
I feel like
eventually there's going to be people that decide maybe we should, band together and try to control this thing and figure out how we can.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one of two things would happen. Either we would never overcome it, and then the whole world would just kind of die off, and that's kind of bleak and depressing. Or there would be like a few people left, as this goes on, and like those people were kind of come up this, decide that, hey, enough's enough, and they start working together and actually kind of unite, the planet, one of those two things would happen.
Yeah, I think that, there'd be the initial chaotic period, right? Like the apocalyptic event, right? When just things go insane. I think eventually, probably starting on a community by community basis, people will try to band together to try to establish some kind of order. Like people who have particularly powerful abilities who want to, have peace, right? Or have, order and structure, probably try to gather together.
You did say, like there are still going to be the good people. Like there's going to be plenty of people who get corrupted by this power, but there'll be plenty of people who do it responsibly. And those will be the ones that really matter.
Those will probably be the ones with the weak powers.
Yeah. One other situation, and this one is still an apocalypse, but everyone dies except for the guy who can asexually reproduce. And then the world becomes all the same of one guy.
Like he could clone himself, kind of thing.
Yeah, clone himself, or like
create like children of himself, and like have to
either one of those things.
He'd be the ultimate winner of this event because he just keep cloning him. He just like have all these versions of him. So it'd be like that. It'd be like that thing we did with the throwdowns where we had Magikarp take over the entire world. It'd be like similar to that.
Right. Or like another guy, a similar situation, a guy who maybe can project his consciousness into other people. That could be an interesting power. I mean, that'd be crazy, actually.
Like
if that person was evil, man. Whew.
Like Druig from the Internals.
Oh yeah. It's just that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, there's some powers that would be particularly problematic if there were some attached to some evil people, right? Like massive mind control. That could be a problem.
Serious problem.
Yeah.
Or like being able to control metal, like Magneto. That would be another one.
Magnify those powers.
Or even anything controlling the animals. That could be like there's a lot of them that people could do some.
Or someone who can raise the dead. So like and control them and make them their personal army. So then you have like the superpower apocalypse leading to the zombie apocalypse. We already did zombie apocalypse, so we're good we're safe there. But like in an alternate timeline.
Yes. And all these, there's one thing leads to another,
But yeah, like a lot of these powers have a lot of firepower, right? But if people don't have powers to get them superhuman durability, people will just be dying off real fast.
That's true. You do have the people who can maybe like make armor, or like Colossus who just like turns into metal. Like those, like there are things that are going to counteract each power, and that's the whole thing with superheroes, right? The hero always has a villain who has like some sort of their powers work against each other's weaknesses and stuff. So there's always going to be that going on. But
also, it's like
everyone had them.
It's a classic thing for like the people who have super strength to also be, super durable, right?
Yeah.
Or invincible. Yeah. But is that a thing? Like we're talking about just people have one power, right? So are some people like I'm super strong. If I hit something real hard, I'll just break my arm in half.
Super strong.
That's true. That's true.
Also like Mr. Glass at the same time.
Yeah. Like they'd lift up a car, but then
it would crush them.
They'd crush themselves somehow. I don't know. How do you have super strength but not be super durable? Because
that's true.
That's interesting.
I feel like that would make for an interesting story. Super strength, but is not super durable.
Yes, that'd be cool. Or like or the opposite, someone who's super durable, but they can't lift up like hardly anything. Well, that would probably be better.
That's something. Well, I mean, I think there are heroes that are kind of like that already.
Yeah.
Because like Luke Cage is like super durable, but he's not particularly super strong. And he's a strong dude, but he's not like super strong.
Yeah, that's true. He's not like Jessica Jones strong or anything. But well, interesting. This has been pretty good discussion. But before we move into the narrative of what we did before, Jaron, with any other questions you want to propose to us regarding the superhero apocalypse?
No, it's an interesting thing, right? I don't know. I'd be curious to see who would become the leaders in such a world. Would it all depend on the power you had? Or could a normal person with a not super impressive power, could they raise to become an authority figure in this new world? Or would it all be power-based?
I
know,
think,
I-
are you
I feel-
able to use
I-
the skills and talents you already had? So even if they don't have a great power, if they're really good at organizing and really dynamic person and could get people to follow them just naturally, then maybe, I mean,
I do
maybe
feel
that's
like
one way you can get people to follow you. You don't always have to just use your power to get them to follow you.
I do feel like the leaders of the world would end up become like people who would become the leaders of the world in this scenario would less likely be the people that have like super strength or laser eyes and like more aggressive powers, and be more like type of characters who like Xavier or like Tony Stark, people who have like super intelligence or like have some sort of psychic ability, something of the mind. I think would be who would end up becoming the leaders, because they would have that intelligence and be able to sort of
yeah,
figure it
Or
out.
like the power of charisma.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
super charisma. That sounds like a lame power, but really it isn't.
Yeah.
I wonder if this event would take like whatever your talent is or whatever you, and just that would somehow, your power would be related to that, like whatever you're
That's
good at
interesting.
already.
Amplify what you already have.
Right.
And it's kind of like Jaron's power of beating A Link to the Past very quickly.
Oh,
Like
then nobody would
if
have
you're a
laser
good
eyes.
swimmer,
This-
if you're a good
I don't know
swimmer,
anybody
you could be like Aquaman. If you're, a good pilot, I don't know.
That's true, but like I don't know anybody who kind of has laser eyes, so I don't
That's
think laser
true.
eyes would ever be like. I guess
Maybe someone had LASIK surgery or something.
In the,
yeah, that could be.
Okay,
Or someone who
fine.
performs LASIK
I
I
surgery.
get it. Whatever. It's just an idea.
in the book I was talking about, the way people gained their powers was if they went through a super traumatic event, they gained powers associated with that traumatic event. And so that essentially resulted in most of the people getting powers kind of being messed up people and being a lot of evil people with powers going around. But it could be something like that, right? But not like a traumatic event, right? But something according to your personality and the things you do, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, David,
Like if-
you're a teacher. You could really, your power.
No, dude. No, but he's a music teacher, so maybe he has like a music-based power, which could be
That'd be
kind of
sick.
cool.
That'd be
I
awesome.
would like that. I don't know how useful I'd be, but
So would Steven have super hearing? Or
That would
That's
kind
a-
of stink.
that's
Like the
That'd
girl
It'd be
from
like the girl
Encanto.
on Encanto. She could hear anything that's going on. That would actually be quite useful, I think.
I could be a good spy.
Yeah. Or you could find out things that most people wouldn't know.
or Steven could just heal everyone's hearing.
That's
Be
true.
like a super audiologist. Like, snap his fingers and he can hear perfectly.
Or you
That
could take
could
away
be
their
easy.
hearing as well. Like,
Oh yeah,
now you're deaf.
Oh,
that'd be kind of. That'd be an interesting power. I think I could work with that.
trying to think what I would get, because I don't know. I don't really have any particularly.
You've got a bunch of titanium rods in your legs and stuff. You could be some kind of.
So I'd be like, Wolverine, and have like a
Cyborg, I
metal
don't-
skeleton. I mean, I'm partially there already. I don't know. I've been told by a lot of people that that I'm like easy to get along with. So I think maybe super charisma might be sort of my thing, my jam.
That'd be cool.
So you'd be one of these leaders in this
Oh,
new
boy.
world order.
All right, guys, it's over.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I'm also kind of a selfish jerk at the same time. So I don't know if I'd be an effective leader. Maybe an advisor, perhaps.
Sometimes leaders have to be selfish jerks, though. Honestly.
That's true. That's true.
So, Jaron, I was teasing you about Link to the Past, but in reality, what do you think yours would be? You're really good at calculating things. You're brilliant. You're like a data scientist. You know numbers. You can crunch numbers like no one else I know. So, how could that?
I'm a math and statistics person, so I would just I don't know, probably pretty lame. Something like being able to see trends very easily, or something like that.
So it's
Like-
like, to say,
super probability.
Yeah,
it's like to say the four of us wouldn't be like some of the super strength people or the ones that like
But you,
I don't know.
you'd be-
Probability would be kind of a cool power, right? Like being able to
true. We would be ones
affect
that would
probabilities. That would be awesome. That would be cool.
and like that'd be helpful for like tacticians and things. Like, okay, this is our angle here.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna do this attack, and you'd be an asset in that situation.
So what you're saying is Jeremy and myself are going to be in leadership positions where you and Dave are just going to be kind of there.
I think Dave and I would team up He'd be doing some music stuff. I'd be taking people's hearing away or giving them hearing back. I think we could make a good team with that.
I could control people's minds with my music, like the Pied Piper. I could have a little flute.
That's true. You do have a flute.
I do. So what? I can't go for like forever. So are we gonna maybe?
Let's go ahead. So assuming these are our powers, but in the narrative, so this will recap.
Oh, we guess assuming these are our powers. I was gonna have a different power.
Sorry,
that's fine. We'll go with it.
You could
actually, I'm already kind of have this power. So in our narrative, of course, we had the zombie apocalypse. We all managed to survive. I ended up hunkering down in a zoo, and then what was the power we had after that? What was after zombies?
Dinosaurs.
That's right. Yeah. So the dinosaurs came, and then that resulted in Steven, because he thinks he's a researcher but isn't. So he caused the dinosaurs to happen, and then
something with an egg, right?
I did some science on an egg.
Just randomly found.
Because of it was his fault, if I recall. He changed his identity to become a musician and started sending David some like sacred magic texts or something like that.
Yes, I did. I started sending David some magic codes, and David opened up a spell he read and he's in the north, so he affected the northern lights, and somehow the northern lights cascaded a global event where everyone has superpowers.
Yeah, so everyone has superpowers. Okay, so we're up to speed. So at this point, I'm like running a group of tribal people. We're riding dinosaurs and stuff, if I recall.
Yeah,
like very savage. So I think this idea of me having like charisma kind of helps with that, because now I'm like a super leader of people with, like my tribe. So my tribe's going to keep growing.
Yeah. With the power.
Super charisma. And on top of that, we've been training dinosaurs. So we're like the dino riders now. We were like, the zoo cult, but now we're the dinosaur cult. We're like the dino riders running around, just being savages on our dinosaurs, creating chaos.
Excellent.
And I'm in charge of them because of my super charisma.
And Dave, you were in Canada and now you have this ability.
Trying to run away from everything, if I remember right.
Now you have the power to influence people tremendously with your music, though.
Yep, I do. So I don't know. I'm just playing music, getting people to do what I want them to do.
Now, are you using it for good or for bad?
I like to think good, but
okay,
it probably depends. Yeah, I'll try good. Why not?
I feel like this point, Steven, since you're kind of evil, since you created a dinosaur apocalypse, and I'm totally just lost it and sort of on the evil side too. I think one of us at least has to be good. So David, he can be good. He can, he's using his Pied Piper abilities to sort of help people out, get them out of sticky situations and things like that.
Get them to escape to a safe place.
Yeah, and he's been trying to contact us. He's had some luck with you because you've been corresponding, but neither one of you have any idea what happened to me.
And I in my magic, my Esteban Flores alias, I guess I'm kind of evil, but I would think at this point I'm trying to make repairs here, and I didn't realize David would use this spell to give everyone powers. So my goal is to get to David or do some research on to look into some other ways to get rid of this.
You need to not do research because you caused the dino apocalypse.
Oh yes.
However,
so
you do have a friend.
It's the probability. So I reached out to my buddy Jaron, who survived the zombie apocalypse and the dinosaur apocalypse. I'm like, hey, dude, I got us into this mess. I'll make sure you never have a hearing loss. Just help me out here.
It's a good deal for me. I was very concerned about my hearing. Now that I am insured good hearing for the rest of my life, I will do anything.
So we have this new person, Jaron, who is a researcher in real life, data scientist. So you can help us. How could we get out of this using your probability knowledge? Some of the scenarios we talked about. What do you think is most likely in this situation going to get us out of the sticky, moving forward?
I just realized though, one thing that you can hear very well, and I have the music, so you could know where I am at all times because you probably could, even if you're far away. So there's connection there somehow.
Wait, does that mean you can hear me? Because I'm out in Texas now, so
I don't think I can hear across the nation.
Okay, we'll reunite eventually. We'll reunite eventually. I'll come riding in on a velociraptor. You guys are like, what? But that'll be later. That'll be for a later time.
So what do you think, Jaron? How could we get out of this? People are dying with
we'd
superpowers.
we'd have to go to the source, right? Which apparently was some magic spell, right, that affected the Northern Lights.
Sure.
So we have to reverse engineer this magic spell to take away the powers. So I don't know how well the math goes into magical spells, but perhaps there's some kind of connection there, and we can reverse the trends. After years of study, after the world has already basically become destroyed again.
So you find a way to reverse engineer it, but in the process, I'm trying to think of how it leads into our next apocalypse.
Well, if he's reversing this event, that could result in a weather apocalypse.
I was thinking that weather apocalypse
because you block out the northern lights, and so now there's like a weather apocalypse. So yeah, a weather
We just
apocalypse.
need a time traveler to go back in time and fix all of this.
Oh man,
I want to be a time traveler.
Well,
actually,
you have super music abilities. Sorry,
Jaron, you've done some research on this magic, projected how we could stop it, and
yeah, because I just caused it by accident. I have no idea how I did it, so I don't know how to stop it.
And in the result, now Jaron has caused the next apocalypse with blocking out the northern lights, and the weather is now who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. So,
and I got tornadoes, sharknadoes.
It's still interesting though, like how this superhero thing. Like I don't know. I know we can't spend forever coming up with a narrative, but it just would be crazy, man. Everyone had powers. I don't know how easy it would be, even if you knew how to fix a magic spell. Like, just everyone with superpowers, it'd be just, I don't know, it's be crazy.
I was thinking, like the Antarctica Fire guy. Like, give him a bit of a backstory, right? Like, why did he gain fire powers? He's in Antarctica. Maybe he was just like really, really cold, and he was freezing to death. And like and he was just like, I just wish I was warm, and he was wishing so desperately he was warm.
Right when the spell
powers came, and then suddenly, like he just burst into super heat waves.
He's Human Torch all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I like that idea. I think another possibility is
same thing would go for the people on the equator. Man, it's so hot here. I just want to be cool. I want to cool down.
Yeah.
Like I want AC, and then suddenly they become
the AC. That's good. I was thinking for Antarctica, another possibility would be that he has such a burning yearning for a fellow researcher. But I like your idea better.
I'm so cold, because like the dinosaur apocalypse just happened, and the zombie apocalypse. So who knows? His research station's probably a little bit messed up, and like from the Arctic dinosaurs.
The research probably did good with the zombie apocalypse. I'm thinking the zombie apocalypse didn't really reach Antarctica.
Yeah, probably not. But
it would take a while. And I want to have my superhero to be like someone who's irresistible. Like, just
use your music,
bro. Really good looking dude.
Dude,
nice
if you have power music, you can influence. Like, music is the language of love, so you can influence people with your music. You're like freaking Cupid over here, man.
This is cool. Well, this was a really good discussion. I think this might have been the most intellectual one of these we've had yet. I really enjoyed having you, Jaron.
Yeah, and you're bald and you have glasses just like all of us. So
people mistook me for Steven all the time.
They still do, actually.
They think I never left. They think I'm good Steven. So.
Any other final points before we wrap this up, gentlemen?
No, I look forward to continuing, and hopefully Jeremy can come back and have him as a guest. I like repeat guests. We've had a couple of repeat guests. So it'd be good to have another one.
Yeah, hopefully we haven't. It's been an exciting enough conversation where you'd want to join again.
Well,
but no, I don't know.
Great. It was an honor to be on the Brothers Born podcast. It's definitely the biggest moment of my life. So I'd like to thank.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, to this point.
There's a lot of people that wish they could be where you are right now. So,
are you sure flattery isn't your superpower now?
Hey, so where are you living? You were in Florida. You moved somewhere.
Now I'm in Missouri.
I was going to say we're still all in 4 different states too.
Oh yeah.
Ohio, Florida, Texas, Missouri. Yeah, we're good. We're just
Starting
we're going across national now, all across the country. So
that's true.
Well, thank you for joining us, Jaron, and good luck on the speed test. What is speed running? If you do any more,
I honestly haven't even done it for like over a year, so
it'll come back to you.
All right, gentlemen. We'll catch you later.
All right, thanks. It was a good time. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Hey everyone! Thanks for listening to this episode of the Brothers Born Podcast. We had a little hiatus there, had some adult things we had to manage, but we're back and we're ready for action. Special thank you to Jaron Whittington for joining us this episode. He has been a loyal listener since day one, and we were so happy to have him on the show finally. His insight added a lot to the discussion. If you like what you're hearing, please share our show with a friend. Or give us a really good review on Apple Podcasts. That'd be so great. If you have something you want us to discuss, email us at brothersbornpodcast@gmail.com or check out our Facebook page. All right, folks, you stay tough, and we'll catch you next time.